Hey, welcome to How To in a Few. We recently purchased this Lambda model GM product, and they had supposedly fully serviced it. I do know that the oil was changed, oil looked fresh, new filter on the oil. What I don't know is whether or not they changed the air filter. We put a couple miles on it already, so I want to make sure that air filter's changed, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to do that today. First thing, obviously, is we need to pop the hood. Alright, while not a cheap filter by any means, it is readily available due to the popularity of this style of vehicle. We decided to go with a Fram. Here we see what it looks like. Notice the plasticness of the car engine area. There are some retaining clips that are holding this cover down. While I'm not sure it has to be taken out to get to the air filter, I'm going to go ahead and remove it because I am missing some of the clips. Quick order on Amazon. Got me a whole pack of clips to address that issue. So I'm going to pull out the old ones, take this plastic cover off so that I can have things a little more exposed to work. It looks like we're looking at Torx screws, a flathead here to take off the mass airflow sensor on the beginning part of the airflow. I have to say, this almost looks like we're missing a clamp on this side, but we'll see. So small Torx, flathead, and I'll be right back. Alright, so first thing I'm going to try to do is remove the remaining clips here. It looks like you pull out the top, maybe? Several broken ones already. Alright, right away that makes the whole car look a little less scary. And now we can see some of the things we expect to see. Radiator, hidden radiator cap, etc. Alright, so our main issue now is to get this off, so let's start on that. Disconnected the mass airflow sensor, which we're going to try to keep on the air filter housing. Let's see if we can unscrew this without losing these screws. And it does look like they come out. It would be nice if they stayed in somehow. This is where, oh look, this one is not even screwed in. So maybe the air filter was changed. Look at this, all the way out. One more, obviously in a place I can't get to. So we're gonna have to rig up a small socket and extension to get there. Alright, let's make sure we got the right size. Alright, judging by the looks of it, it has not been changed. So good call on our part to go ahead and take a chance and check it. Alright, I do have a little bit of debris built up down in the air collection chamber there. It's not too bad. That's pre-filter, so it doesn't really matter, but since I have it open, I am going to go grab the little handy vac and just make a quick pass to kind of suck up some of the sand that I see in there so that that doesn't eventually make its way into the engine. Alright, so you know nothing ever goes right, so here I am deciding just to look down the throat of this engine to see what it looks like inside. And that's not right. So it looks like this was not properly reassembled. We got some oil buildup in there, some carbon buildup. So I think we're going to go ahead and dismantle this a little bit. Use some carb cleaner, clean that up and see if we can't correct those issues. So after finding those bizarre issues in the throttle body, we're going to try to get this off. And now realize this is the first time I've ever attempted to remove something like this. Looks like it just pops off. Did take the oil cap off. Ooh, engine doesn't look as pretty now as it did. Alright, just for safety purposes, once I find the oil cap, I'm going to go ahead and put that back on just to make sure we don't drop anything in there. Right, loosen this. We have no hoses on this thing. This looks like a PVC valve. That just comes out. Alright, see what happens there? That's a case of idiotitis. Wow, so conceivably it's even been sucking air from the outside. That is crazy. Who does that? Hope is actually that I'll be able to straighten this out, although it's been crushed now and has a completely wrong shape. I think we'll be alright as long as we're careful. Let me put that back on. I'm gonna go get a rag or two because I feel like I want to clean out this throttle body. It looks really messy. Here's a look at it. Pretty oily. We've got a little bit of buildup. So just gonna clean the outside. Spray a little carb cleaner in there. Might as well soak it now for a wipe. I'm gonna go get a rag. Alright, I'm gonna hit it a little more, and then I'll just gently wipe. Alright, well, that's not going to have a significant impact probably to the operation. The only thing that could ever happen is if this gets stuck due to the buildup, then you could get some hesitation if it isn't able to open the throttle. Alright, there's a lot of oil buildup in here. I think I'm gonna spray some in there and just let it drain. Alright, so I sprayed some carb cleaner. I know the environmentalists out there are gonna start screaming, and main thing here is I'm also shooting it down through the PVC or PCV, positive control valve, pressure control valve, to make sure that that PVC valve, PCV valve is clear. Then I'll hit it a little bit on the outside and wipe it all down before we reinstall it. Alright, I have my little vacuum here. I said before I was going to suck up some of the debris in here. So normally in the past I would run a car and spray some carb cleaner into the throttle body while it's open so it could clean up some of the plenum. But because of the increase in amount of computer technology in newer cars, I'm not going to take a chance of causing any kind of problems. What I am going to make sure is that I get this on there correctly, as opposed to last time. Surprising how easy it goes on there. Only thing I can assume is that the previous tech did not loosen that clamp enough. Now it's time for our new air filter. See if there's an up or a down. Apparently it can only fit one way, so we're safe. And then our giant air box. Now you don't ever want to spray carb cleaner into this, because there's a sensitive electronic airflow sensor there. It may get damaged. Now, a lot of times you'll hear that you're supposed to clean those mass airflow sensors with a solvent, but we're not going to make that assumption here. Without knowing for sure that this model would call for that. Alright, appears that everything is in place, so we're going to start by tightening down this clamp. Proceeding to this one, and then we will start with the hardest one first. Reinsert not too tight, because they are plastic metal screws going into plastic. This time we will be putting this screw all the way in. Alright, so there, air filter changed. Mass airflow sensor connector reattached. PVC valve. Looks good. Everything's tight. Nothing else was taken apart. Nothing's crimped. And we will give it a test fire just to check it out. You know what? I'm fairly confident. We'll go ahead and take the oil cap out. Oil cap back in. Should be good to go. Now we'll give it a crank. Alright, that was a little bit of a scary start, but considering that we sprayed carb cleaner into the throttle body, thereby flooding the engine, it's probably only natural that it was a little bit hard to start. Alright, now we're going to replace our little trim cap. Putting our broken pieces. Where somebody obviously left a clip in and yanked the crap out of it. Then we'll start putting in our new clips. Wow, these are different. They just push in. Although this one does not want to hold. We'll use the old one in that one. I have to tell you, I'm not liking these. They don't lock. Lost one already. Appear to only work here at the bottom. Well, thankfully they were cheap. So we'll have to be selective with the ones we have left. Believe it or not, that is a giant hawk you're hearing in the background. Wasn't sure at first, but I just saw him. Alright, so there we go. We have our dirty air filter changed. We did manage to find another problem on the way, and we corrected that too. Did a little cleaning to the throttle body, but the main point of this video was to change the air filter. So that should have been everything you needed to do that. Incidentally, I do have a computer code that there is a lean condition occurring on the front bank of the engine. That usually has a cause of three possible things. The before catalytic converter oxygen sensor is reading incorrectly, or the after the catalytic converter oxygen sensor is reading incorrectly, so that it's a false signal, or that there is an air leak in the manifold. There's like this flexible part that can get cracked if you hit something, but I've already inspected that and it all looks perfect. But the O2 sensors are a little rusted and look like they might be the original ones in the car. So I had already purchased the first oxygen sensor, it's a cheaper one, to replace and see if that was the issue. But now, having found that I have an air leak, or had an air leak in the intake manifold, that means that more air was getting into the engine than what the mass airflow sensor was reading, and therefore the computer might have been going a little bit light on fuel, causing a lean condition, which is what the O2 sensors were reading. So I'm going to clear that error code. Usually it takes a day or two of driving before the error code pops back up, but we might get lucky here and that error code may be gone due to the fact that that rubber boot was not on there right. That's crazy. I mean, I'm relatively mechanically inclined. I'm thinking about the average person taking their car somewhere and they get it back with an error like that. I mean, that could take thousands of dollars to troubleshoot and figure out what the problem actually is, when it was an error on the part of the service person. Alright, so hopefully that helped you. If so, give me a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button to see the next video. Is going to be traverse videos coming up on this channel, so you might want to subscribe in case one of the issues that we have is an issue that you have. Any questions or comments you can leave below. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.